If you're already running a carpet cleaning business but feel like you've hit a ceiling somewhere around $10,000 or $20,000 a month, this training is for you. I know you're probably already working hard. In fact, you're probably one of the hardest working people in your zip code. The problem is that more hustle can't solve a business model that's limited by your available hours, your average ticket, and your physical capacity. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 systems that help me move from cleaning carpets myself to running a team-operated business. The same framework that we use now with carpet cleaning companies across the United States. First, how to generate more predictable demand from people who are already looking for a cleaner. Second, how to turn that demand into profitable book jobs instead of low margin work. And third, how to use that margin to hire, train, and build capacity beyond yourself. This is how you stop competing with every cheap chuck in the truck cleaner in town and start building a business that can actually support the life that you want. But let me go ahead and qualify this up front. This training is for established operators who want to grow and are willing to invest in building a real growth system. If you're brand new, have no budget for advertising, or need an emergency miracle next week to save your business, this is probably not the right program for you. And if you're comfortable staying exactly where you are, this may not be for you either. There's nothing wrong with running a small, profitable, owner-operated business if that's what you actually want. But for the rest of you, for the people who want to build something bigger, I want to share 3 systems with you. The 3 systems we're going to cover are simple to understand, but they're not always easy to implement. Those 3 systems are predictable demand, profitable bookings, and team capacity. You're going to need all 3 working together. More leads without good booking economics can make you busier and poorer. Higher prices without enough demand can leave your schedule empty. And more jobs without team capacity can turn you into a completely exhausted bottleneck. The goal is not just to get more phone calls. The goal is to build a machine that creates profitable demand and gives you enough margin and capacity to grow beyond the van. I also want to be very clear. I cannot guarantee that every business will automatically reach $50,000 a month or more. Your market, pricing, sales process, capacity, financial position, execution, all of those things matter. What I can show you is the system and the numbers that make this level of growth possible. And I can help explain the mistakes that keep most cleaners trapped below this level. But before I get into those systems, let me tell you why I'm helping carpet cleaners in the first place. My name is Ruben Rock. I started exactly where many of you are. I used to be a carpet cleaner in Wisconsin. I was an owner-operator when I first started out, and I had never built a cleaning company before. I really didn't have any experience. I had never even cleaned carpets before when I started this company. I took out 2 massive loans to buy a 2012 Chevy Express van and some carpet cleaning equipment from my franchise. So before I'd even made $1, I was already more than $40,000 in debt. And to make things more interesting, my wife and I had a newborn baby at home. My son was born in January of 2015, which is the same month that I opened the doors to my carpet cleaning business. So I had a newborn, a pile of debt, no real experience in the carpet cleaning market, and a business that had to start producing immediately. At first, my wife's job was our safety net while we tried to get the business off the ground, so that relieved some of the pressure. But a couple months after we launched, she lost that job. And the 6-figure income that had been paying all of our bills was gone in a flash. Suddenly, we didn't have any income at all aside from whatever I could make with carpet cleaning. Failure wasn't an option anymore. I had to figure out how to make the phone ring, how to bring in paying customers, and I had to do it fast. I tried a lot of different ways to win customers. Some of it worked a little bit, some of it didn't work at all. And some of it actually made me busier, but it didn't make me more profitable. It might have even cost me money. But eventually, I found a system involving Google that actually did work for me. And within about 6 months of making that shift, I built a 6-figure carpet cleaning business, raised my prices, and hired 2 employees. I got out of the van completely at that point. I wasn't doing the cleaning myself anymore at all. I was managing a small team. That was a huge unlock for me personally and for my family. But the most important part of the story happened later. Eventually, I moved from Wisconsin to the Seattle area, about 2,000 miles away, so that my wife could take a new dream job. My crew continued running the day-to-day operation back in Wisconsin while I managed the business remotely from Washington. I was able to live my life with my family while my business continued serving customers. And eventually, I sold that carpet cleaning business. Now, the lesson isn't that Google magically fixed my business. Google didn't hire my employees. Google didn't create my pricing. Google didn't manage my schedule, and Google didn't build the processes that my employees followed every day. The real lesson here is that I needed a system to connect 3 things: lead generation, profitable booking, and team capacity. That's the system that I want to break down for you today. And full disclosure, my company, BookCleaningJobs, we help carpet cleaners install this system in their business. So I do have an offer for you at the end of this video. I'm not going to pretend that this is purely educational and then surprise you with a pitch. You can take the ideas from this training and apply them yourself. But if you want help installing the system, I'll explain exactly what that looks like later. If you're stuck between $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000 a month, I want you to know that it's probably not because you're lazy. I know that you're probably working constantly, but there's only so many hours in the day and only so much energy in your body. So eventually you're going to run out of both. You can't physically hustle your way past that ceiling until you change the system. Another big mistake that I see cleaning business owners making is buying a lot of equipment and thinking that's a business plan. Buying a truck mount does not bring in customers. A van, a portable, a truck mount, those are all tools. They're not customer acquisition systems. Buying a truck mount is not a business plan. And I say that as somebody who did exactly this. I went into debt for equipment before I even had a plan to put that equipment to work, to bring in customers. So before I go any further, I want to tell you about the 3 enemies that keep most cleaners trapped: crappy leads, price shoppers, and the owner-operator trap. These aren't just annoying problems, they're mathematically destroying your business. Let's take a look at each one quickly. The first enemy is crappy leads. When you don't know how to generate your own demand, you're going to naturally turn to lead resellers like Yelp, Angie, Thumbtack, HomeAdvisor, and similar platforms. That makes sense when you're desperate for the phone to ring, but their business model is not designed to build your business. They sell the same lead to several hungry cleaners at the same time. I like to call it the 5-to-1 dogfight. The customer submits one request, and then suddenly 5 carpet cleaning companies are calling them back to back. The customer gets overwhelmed, they get annoyed, they start treating every cleaner that's calling them like a desperate bidder competing for the lowest price. So the other problem with this is that you can't control the lead flow. The platform actually controls the lead flow. I tried some of these platforms in my own business. One time I spent $4,600 on leads from HomeAdvisor, and those leads generated about $4,600 in revenue. So at first it sounds like I broke even, right? But after gas, chemicals, insurance, labor, wear and tear, I actually lost money on that deal. And most of all, those customers that I gained through HomeAdvisor, they never actually called me again. The second enemy is price shoppers. The barrier to entry in the carpet cleaning industry is extremely low. Somebody can buy a used portable machine, put it in the back of a minivan, and advertise a $99 whole house cleaning special in any city across America. If you market yourself in the same pond as that Craigslist king, customers are going to compare you to him on price. And then when you do get customers, they're going to interrogate you over every little price difference. They're going to ask for discounts. They're going to watch over your shoulder while you're cleaning their apartment, and they're going to complain at the end of the job. I learned that lesson the hard way through Groupon. Back when I first started my carpet cleaning business, I sold 100 Groupons in my local area, and I actually filled my schedule with this method. So at first I thought I was crushing it until I ran the math. I had heavily discounted my carpet cleaning services. And then on top of that, Groupon took their share, which was 50%. And then all the cheap customers that came in through my Groupon deal, they didn't want to buy any of my upsells or add-ons. So after gas, chemicals, wear and tear, all the stuff we talked about earlier, I was pretty much paying to go to work every day. My schedule was full, but I was losing money on every job. So if you compete on price, it quickly becomes a race to the bottom. The third enemy is the owner-operator trap. A lot of cleaning business owners never end up hiring anybody. So they become the lead cleaner, the bookkeeper, the tax person, the IT person, the marketing department, and the person who has to fix every single problem that comes up. This leads to what I call superhero syndrome. You feel like you have to personally swoop in and save every situation in your business because it's your business and nobody else can do it as well as you. And not only that, you can't really afford to hire the help that you need anyways. But trying to wear every hat in your business means that you end up failing at a lot of those jobs. You clean all day, you barely keep up with the phone and responding to leads, you forget about marketing and bookkeeping altogether, and then you wonder why your business is never actually growing. The real issue is usually a system problem. You don't yet have a way to generate predictable demand for your cleaning business, to book profitable cleaning jobs, to train people to do those jobs, and to monitor the numbers as the owner of your company. So after struggling, a lot of owners try to do everything themselves to save money. They build the website themselves, they set up the ads themselves, they handle every single call that comes in, they create the hiring process from scratch. And sometimes that works, but a lot of times owners end up paying what's called the DIY tax. Instead of paying to get something done properly up front, They pay through missed opportunities, bad campaigns, weak follow-up, low prices, and months of lost growth. The ultimate shortcut in business is to hire professionals and let them handle the parts of the business that they already know how to handle. I want to make this practical with some simple math. What I'm about to show you, it's not magic. It's just math, okay? So let's say that your goal is $50,000 a month. You want to make 50 grand a month with your carpet cleaning business. If your average ticket is $150, you're going to need to do about 334 jobs a month to hit that $50,000 a month goal. If your average ticket's $300, you only need to do 167 jobs a month. Still a lot of jobs, but it's half as many jobs. It's not a small difference, right? I mean, it changes the number of leads, technicians, and trucks that you need in your business. It changes everything. So let's look at a more average job load. Most owner-operators aren't doing 200 or 300 jobs a month. You might be doing like 60 jobs a month. So at 60 jobs a month, if you have a $150 average ticket, you'd make about $9,000 in revenue. If you're doing about 60 jobs a month and you've got a $150 average ticket, then you're probably making about $9,000 a month. But if you did those same 60 jobs and you increased your average ticket to $300, you would actually make $18,000 from the same 60 jobs. You don't need twice as many customers to double your revenue. You just need better positioning, better pricing, better packages, better follow-up, and better booking economics. That's why lead volume's not the whole answer. You could have more bad leads and that could make you busier while slowly destroying the margin in your carpet cleaning business. So let me show you the growth loop. The growth loop works like this. Better demand gives you better opportunities. Better opportunities let you book more profitable jobs. More profitable jobs create margin. Margin allows you to hire and train a better team, and that team creates capacity for you to take on more work. That allows you to take on a lot more profitable jobs without doing all of the work yourself. And then the cycle repeats. Now let's take a look at why these booking economics matter so much. Let's pretend that you got 100 leads this month. If you only had a 20% booking rate and a $150 average ticket, you'd only book 20 jobs from those 100 leads, and you'd only make $3,000. If you could raise your booking rate to 40% and your average ticket to $225, you'd actually book 40 jobs and make $9,000. Big improvement. 3 times as much revenue. Now, if you got a 60% booking rate and you achieved a $300 average ticket, you would book 60 jobs from those same 100 leads, and you'd produce $18,000. That's 5 times as much revenue as the guy who's only booking 20% and making $150 per job. These numbers are just to illustrate what's possible. It's not a promise that every business could actually achieve these results, but they do show you the leverage. Among the clients that we work with that book cleaning jobs, the cleaning companies that execute really well achieve booking rates in the 40 to 60% range when they're getting leads from Google. That's not an industry-wide guarantee. It's not the result that every campaign produces, but it's an example of what can happen when lead quality, fast response, sales process, pricing, and follow-up, all of those things are working together, right? So what you can see here is that the cheapest lead is not necessarily the best lead. The lead that becomes a profitable book job is what really matters. You could take the same 100 leads and achieve a completely different result just by improving the economics of your booking process. Here's exactly what you need to do to break through the ceiling. 3 things have to change. You need to improve the type of customers that you attract. You need to increase the amount of money that they spend, and you need to change who does the actual cleaning. That's the 3-part system. Let's walk through each part. The first system that you need to install in your cleaning business is predictable demand. You need to be able to generate leads for your business. You need a reliable way to get in front of people who are already looking for the cleaning services that you provide. That's fundamentally different than renting a shared lead from somebody and then competing with 4 other cleaners to try to win that job. You don't want to keep playing that game because there's a better way to get in front of high quality customers. When somebody searches for carpet cleaning near me, they're already telling you what they want. All you have to do is make sure your cleaning company is visible, credible, and easy to contact. The goal isn't just to buy leads from somewhere different. The goal is to actually build an asset that creates demand for your cleaning business. That includes your website, your Google business profile, your reviews, your advertising campaigns, your tracking system, your customer database. You want to know where every single lead came from, how much it cost, whether they booked, and how much money they spent with you. That's how marketing becomes a business asset instead of just a monthly guessing game. If you want to build a predictable traffic engine like this, it's going to include several pieces. First, you're going to need a conversion-focused website. That's going to make you look like a professional company rather than a guy in a van with a machine. Second, SEO and your Google business profile are going to work to build a long-term source of organic visibility, traffic, and leads from people who are searching for a local carpet cleaner. And speaking of Google Business Profile, you're going to want to get as many 5-star reviews as possible on Google and of course Yelp and Facebook too, so that the market actually sees evidence that you do good work. Next, and this is where we start to turn up the heat, Google Ads and local services ads will put you in front of new customers faster. These are 2 paid ads programs that Google offers to help your cleaning business capture high intent demand more quickly. And finally, your tracking will pull together everything so that you can actually measure what's happening and what's producing revenue for you. You don't need to master all of these things at once, but you do need a coordinated system. Now, let's talk about your website for a second. It's important that you treat your website like more than just an online brochure. I think this gets glossed over sometimes. Your website influences what the customer thinks about you and how much you're worth before they even call your business. You can't actually command a $300 average ticket if your website looks like it was built in the 90s and if it's got the exact same stock photos as every other cheap cleaner in town. So what you need is a professional website with real photos, videos, clear explanations of your services, your service area. You need a website with clear CTAs or calls to action, right? You need click-to-call buttons. You need forms that qualify your leads, online booking. You need a premium website that's going to establish authority, explain your services, show proof to build trust, and make it easier for customers to hire you. That's going to help customers believe that paying more for your cleaning services is completely justified because your company is obviously the best option. Another thing that you're going to want to do with your website is invest in search engine optimization or SEO. You should really build your website with SEO in mind from the beginning because it's a lot easier than trying to add it later. But investing in SEO is going to help your website show up higher on Google when people are searching for things like carpet cleaner near me. The top websites get most of the clicks. So this actually has the potential to drive a ton of traffic to your site and a lot of high-paying customers to your business. So it's worth the investment. And while SEO can be powerful, it does take some time. It's also technical and not everybody wants to fiddle with their website constantly. So you have another option. We discussed this a minute ago. Paid Google traffic can help you reach people a lot faster because you're going to show up right when the customer is actively searching, right at the top of Google. Local services ads or LSAs, that's Google's pay-per-call program. That one can generate calls for you really quickly from high-intent customers. They're ready to book right away. Google Ads is another amazing paid program. That's a pay-per-click program. That will send qualified traffic to your website, and then you can turn those people into leads or customers. Both of these programs, they can work together to bring in a lot of customers for your business a lot faster than SEO alone. But I'd highly recommend that you invest in all three, SEO, LSAs, and Google Ads. That will really pay off for you. Ultimately, though, your investment is only going to pay off if the economics and your follow-up are working too. And that's where a lot of cleaning business owners make a costly mistake. They look at an ad account or an ad campaign that they're running, and they just ask, how many leads did we get? How much did we pay? Did we pay too much? Those are not the best questions to ask. You really need to be asking yourself, were these people actually qualified? How did they reach out to me? Did we answer them quickly? Did they book? How much did they actually spend? And did the job produce enough gross profit to justify acquiring this customer? The thing is, a lead's not the same thing as a customer. A customer is not the same thing as a profitable customer. And a profitable customer is not the same thing as a repeat customer. The traffic engine needs to connect all of those steps. Otherwise, you're just buying activity and hoping it turns into more business. And that's why I don't recommend judging your marketing solely by clicks or cheap leads. You really need to look at lead quality, booked jobs, average ticket, and return on investment. Tracking can really help you with that. A great example of this is a carpet cleaning company that we recently helped in Washington. They implemented everything that we just talked about, and it allowed them to fill their schedule and get a $360 average ticket by their third week in business. They just started up, and by 3 weeks in business, they were making $360 per job on average. The coolest part is that 6 months later, they had already reached their financial goals for the entire first year of the business. They knocked their goals out in only 6 months. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that every startup is going to automatically achieve the same thing. These guys filled their schedule quickly by tapping into existing demand on Google and positioning themselves well. They also had an experienced entrepreneur behind the company. They also executed at a high level, and they were willing to invest in their growth from day one. Those are huge factors that contributed to their success. But this does demonstrate a principle. When the market sees a credible offer and the business tracks everything, you can find much better customers and command a much higher average ticket than you ever expected. But I want you to remember that traffic is only system number one. If you generate more leads and then answer slowly, quote too cheaply, miss the follow-up, or book unprofitable jobs, more traffic can actually make the problem worse. So the second system is turning demand into profitable work. It's converting more leads into profitable jobs. You don't just need more leads. You need booked jobs that leave enough margin to support marketing, payroll, overhead, and growth. There's 4 levers that will help you book more profitable jobs from the leads that you're currently getting. Those 4 levers are speed, trust, pricing, and follow-up. The first lever is speed to lead. The best lead is usually the one that you answer the fastest. When somebody's actively searching for a cleaner in their area, they might contact 2 or 3 companies. And the cleaner who responds quickly and professionally, they have a major advantage. That's because a lead that goes unanswered is not a bad lead. It's a lead that your system failed to handle. In our experience, the first 5 minutes matter enormously. We've seen data that as much as 80% of a lead's potential value can disappear when a business doesn't respond quickly. So when someone's actively looking for a cleaner, you don't want your first response to be happening hours later. You can respond by text message, phone call, or even email. The exact tool doesn't really matter that much. What matters is having a process that consistently responds when a customer still has the problem right when they're reaching out, within 5 minutes if possible. Tools like instant notifications on your phone, a CRM to capture and save incoming leads, missed call text back to keep the conversation going, online booking so customers can schedule on their own, those can help you respond faster. It also helps to have a clear, documented process for following up on every inquiry. I think a lot of cleaning business owners haven't really documented their process for responding to inquiries, and that's a big missed opportunity. When you write down your response protocol, rehearse it, and make it automatic, your response times are going to go through the roof. The second lever is trust. Customers pay more when they trust the choice. A lot of this happens before the customer reaches out, but how you respond also has an impact. Reviews, photos, guarantees that you can actually honor, clear explanations, professional communication, a strong website, they all reduce the customer's fear of making a bad choice when they hire you. If a customer can't tell why you're better, they're going to start to compare you on price. Your job is not to convince every person to pay more. Your job is to make the customer understand why your price is justified. The third lever is average ticket. And if you think about it, pricing and packaging, they're growth levers, right? You can make more money just by using smarter pricing in your business. And that sounds like common sense. Most cleaners know this already, but they still fail to take action on that information because of one simple thing. A lot of cleaners are afraid to raise prices because they assume that customers will disappear. The problem is that low prices create the wrong kind of demand for your business. It brings in the wrong customers. They don't spend enough money with your business. They leave you with no room for marketing, hiring, or mistakes. You need clear packages, profitable minimums, and relevant add-ons that help push your average ticket to $300 or more. You don't need high-pressure sales. The goal is not to pressure people into buying things that they don't need. The goal is to make it easy for customers to choose the level of service that fits their situation. And the fourth lever is follow-up and retention. The job's not over when the invoice is paid. SMS and email follow-up, review requests, referral requests, annual or twice yearly reminders, reactivation campaigns, those can all turn one transaction into a longer customer relationship. The customer you already served is often easier to win again than a brand new customer is to acquire. A marketing system shouldn't just fill next week. It should help build future demand for your company too. This will increase your lifetime value or LTV, which will allow you to make a higher ROI in your marketing efforts. Okay, now that you know the 4 levers that you need to use to book more leads into profitable jobs, we're going to talk about one boring detail: tracking. You need to know what happens from lead to booking to revenue. How many leads came in? How many did you contact? How many booked? What was the average ticket? Which source produced the best customers? Did the job leave enough margin? Without those numbers, you're not really optimizing anything. You're just reacting to feelings. And feelings are especially dangerous in a seasonal business like carpet cleaning. One good week can make you think that your campaign's perfect. One slow week can make you think that the entire market's disappeared. The numbers give you a much more honest picture. For example, if 10 leads came in and 5 booked, that sounds pretty good. But if your average ticket's $120, the jobs take too long, and you can't upsell or generate repeat business from these leads, then the 50% booking rate, it might be hiding a weak business model. On the other hand, a lower booking rate could actually be acceptable sometimes if the leads are higher quality, the average ticket's stronger, the gross margin's healthier, and the customers are more likely to come back. That's why you want to look at the whole chain instead of celebrating one isolated metric. The goal is not to scale an unprofitable campaign. Nobody should be doing that. Let's take a look at what happens when a company pulls all these growth levers together and tracks everything that they're doing. We helped a carpet cleaning company in Mississippi who had been in business for 30 years finally break through a long plateau that they've been stuck at and hit their first $40,000 month. This result wasn't created by one magic ad or one clever headline. It came from putting a better plan in place, improving the marketing, and paying attention to all the numbers that we just talked about. Growth like this isn't automatic. You could be stuck for years, but it doesn't mean you're permanently stuck. With the right moves, even an established company, someone who's been around for 30 years, could get back on a growth path and hit a record month. Once you've implemented the first two systems, you're generating better demand and you're booking more profitable work, you've got something that you didn't have before. Margin, profits, right? That margin is what's going to fund the third and final system, team capacity. The third system is building capacity beyond the owner. This is where the business stops being a job that you personally perform and starts becoming an operation that you manage. You don't have to build a huge company overnight, but you do need to start transferring work from you, the owner, to repeatable processes and capable people. Your job changes as the company grows. At the beginning, you might need to do all the cleanings, and then you might need to learn how to manage the schedule and customer experience. And then you need to learn how to build a team and spend more of your time on sales, hiring, quality control, financial decisions, and growth. The goal is not to become useless. The goal is to stop being the only person who can make your cleaning business function. You're going to have to hire. And hiring starts with finding the right people. Here's some of my best advice for that. Create a clear job description, offer competitive pay, explain the opportunity, and post that job where candidates are actually looking. And when you find good candidates, use a quick phone interview and then meet the strongest candidates in person. Now, me personally, I like to hire for personality fit, reliability, and trainability rather than just assuming that somebody with the most experience is going to be the best employee. Because you can teach a process, but it's a lot harder to train somebody to care. So once you hire somebody, training is not going to be just one single conversation or one single day. It's going to take time for even a good employee to learn the ins and outs of carpet and upholstery cleaning. So I'd recommend that you document your cleaning process, create some checklists, and use those in the first 30 days with all new employees. Give your employees clear expectations for how to communicate, the quality of their work, how to use the equipment, how to interact with customers, and how to close out jobs. The goal is consistency. You're not looking for an employee to become a perfect clone of you on day one. You're really looking to build a repeatable standard that any reasonable person could follow. One of the big mistakes I see cleaners make when they start hiring is they refuse to hand off work because they feel like nobody can do it as good as they can. That standard is going to keep you trapped forever. I'd say that once a trained employee can consistently deliver about 70 to 80% of the result that you can deliver, and the customer experience is still solid, you really need to let them work independently while you continue improving the system. If you insist on doing everything perfectly yourself, you're never going to create the capacity that you need. The truth is that a turnkey business is not one where every employee is as passionate as the owner. It's one where the right people can follow the right process and produce a reliable result. That means checklists, training, quality checks, customer communication, and clear accountability. It also means learning to inspect the business without jumping in to do every task yourself. You really need a simple scorecard for the things that matter: jobs completed, recleans, reviews, average ticket, callbacks, schedule utilization, employee reliability, all those things. If the same problem keeps coming back, don't just blame the person who encountered it. Ask whether the process made success clear. Did they have the right tools? Did they know the standard? Did anybody check the result? Did the customer know what to expect? That kind of thinking is what moves you from heroic problem solving to actual management. The purpose of process isn't to remove the human element. It's to make success repeatable. Let's talk about what it looks like to build beyond the owner-operator level. We recently helped a carpet cleaner in Panama City, Florida, hit a record $22,000 month. Before he came to us, he'd been relying on word of mouth and referrals and just a lot of hustle. We installed this system in his business, and once this marketing system began creating more consistent demand, his business was bursting at the seams with high-paying new customers. And because of that, he finally had enough margin and confidence to hire his first employee and start preparing for a second van. Now he's actually talking about getting out of the van. Now, this doesn't prove that hiring is easy or automatic. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely going to be hard work to hire the right people and train them. You might even hire some of the wrong people first and then have to rehire. That happens to a lot of people. But it does show that creating better demand and better economics can create the financial room for you to actually start building a team. A really good example of this is Spencer at Carpet Boss in Kansas City. He's a great example of what can happen when all three of these systems are working together over time. After working with my team at BookCleaningJobs, Spencer hit a record $65,000 month with this carpet cleaning business. He also hired a team. He also won a 5-year cleaning contract for an NFL organization. And after leasing a commercial space for his growing business, he built a busy rug cleaning operation inside of that facility and processed more than 40 rugs in a single month. Now, Spencer's story is very different from most cleaners out there. And $65,000 in a month, that's not the whole story. That revenue gave him the ability to build something with more capacity. The team gave him the ability to fulfill more work. The commercial space created room for another service line with the rug cleaning business. And that operating discipline that he has, that allowed him to keep expanding. I would never present Spencer's results as normal, automatic, or guaranteed. It's more of an aspirational example of the full system. Better demand, profitable work, people, capacity, reinvestment. That's the shift. You want to hand off the wand, not because cleaning is beneath you, but because the business needs you doing higher value work. The owner's job becomes creating demand, protecting margin, developing people, improving systems, and making the decisions that allow your company to grow. That's what happened when I moved 2,000 miles away and my crew continued operating my carpet cleaning business for me. Now, you can see why these three systems have to work together. Predictable demand without profitable booking is going to make you busy and broke. Profitable booking without team capacity makes you the bottleneck. And team capacity without demand leaves employees and equipment sitting idle. But when the three systems work together, you have the foundation for a real cleaning company. The reason I showed you the different types of carpet cleaning companies that we've worked with and the different situations that they've been in is because carpet cleaners don't all need the exact same first move. A newer company might need better positioning and demand. A plateau company might need better economics and better tracking, while an owner-operator might need more profitable volume to justify hiring. The framework is the same, but the starting point is what's different. Here's another cleaner that we helped. This is Yobani in California. We helped him nearly double his January and February numbers one year, putting him over $20,000 a month during a period that was normally a lot slower. Now, of course, I can't make seasonality disappear, but a business with better demand generation, better follow-up, better customer economics, they have more tools to manage a slow season. You're not trying to pretend that your market doesn't have cycles, that there's not seasonality in your cleaning business. You're trying to build a business that's less helpless when the cycle changes. This cleaner right here, Yobani, he took advantage of these levers and he managed to almost double his revenue during the slowest months of the year. Now, I want to be responsible with all the case studies and all the stuff that I'm showing you today, because these results can happen when the right company, market, offer, execution, and investment all come together. They don't prove that every business is going to get the same result. They don't mean that you can turn on ads, ignore your phone, keep underpricing your services, and expect your cleaning business to grow. The system is what creates leverage, but you still have to execute. Now, at this point, you have two choices. You could try to build this entire machine for yourself, testing campaigns, rebuilding your website, learning the CRM, fixing follow-ups, creating reports, and paying the DIY tax while you figure it all out. Or you could work with a team that's already built these systems for cleaning companies across the United States and have us help install the system directly into your cleaning business. That's what the BookCleaningJobs growth plan is designed to do. The growth plan is our all-in-one marketing and growth system for established cleaning companies. It's built around the three systems that we just covered. First, we help you get found by better customers. Second, we help you convert more leads into profitable jobs. And third, we help you build the capacity and operating habits required to move beyond the owner-operator stage. Let's look at each piece of the growth plan in a little bit more detail. The first piece is a predictable traffic engine. Depending on your situation, that could include a custom conversion-focused website, Google ads, local services ads, SEO work, Google business profile optimization, and reputation management. The purpose isn't to collect a pile of disconnected marketing services. The purpose is to create a stronger presence when good customers are looking for a cleaner in your local area, and to give those customers a clear next step to hiring your cleaning business. The second piece of the growth plan is a booking and profit system. We provide access to a customized CRM and marketing automation platform so that you can track leads, follow up, manage opportunities, and book more jobs. We can help connect online booking, missed call text back, SMS and email follow-up, review requests, and reporting. Our team will help you review lead quality, booking rate, average ticket, and ROI. The point is to know what's happening in your cleaning business instead of just guessing. And the third piece of the growth plan is support. You get monthly one-on-one calls to review what's happening in your cleaning business and to answer questions about your marketing, budget, numbers, and your growth plan. You also get ongoing support and access to office hours calls where you can learn from other cleaning business owners. We can discuss pricing, packages, upsells, hiring, training, problem employees, problem customers, and the decisions that come up as you grow. I've also got a bonus for you. When you sign up for the growth plan, you're also going to get a copy of my Carpet Cleaning Profits course. That course covers pricing, packages, upsells, hiring, training, scripts, and a lot more. You're going to find it inside your client portal after you sign up. Now, let's talk about the investment, and I want to be completely transparent. Our fee covers our implementation, management, support, and the work that our team performs. Your advertising budget, though, that's going to be paid directly to Google. We don't want you wondering how much ad spend is being hidden behind some invoice. You should know exactly what's going on, how much is being spent on Google, and how much is being spent on managing the system. The current investment for the growth plan is a $500 one-time startup fee and $997 per month. You should also be prepared to invest at least $1,500 a month directly with Google for advertising. Some of our more serious clients, the ones who are trying to grow faster, they're spending $3,000 a month or more on their ads. You don't have to spend that much. It depends on your goals and your market. A practical starting point for most cleaners is about $2,500 for the first month and about $2,500 a month after that once the startup fee is out of the way. That's a serious investment for a serious operator. Now, if those numbers don't make sense for your cleaning business right now, I completely understand. This is not an emergency rescue program for somebody whose cleaning business is not going to survive the next 30 days. Let's talk about long-term contracts. There is no long-term contract. This service is month to month and you can cancel anytime. But I would recommend that you give the program at least 90 days before you judge it. The first month includes implementation and launch, and we really need time to build the systems, gather data, optimize your campaigns, help you improve your follow-up, and make intelligent decisions. If you sign up for 30 days, barely begin implementation, and then quit before the system has data, you're almost guaranteeing that you're not going to get a fair evaluation. Stick with the program for 90 days, and most people stay with us long-term after that. But after 90 days, if you feel the full growth plan is no longer right for you, we could discuss transitioning you to another plan like Google Ads, SEO, CRM, or hosting. I don't want you to feel stuck. I also don't want you to feel like we're holding your website hostage. My team builds a new website for most of our clients, and that website is yours to keep after the first 30 days, even if you later decide to cancel the full growth plan. The goal is to help you build an asset for your cleaning business, not to trap you inside of a contract. And by the way, we have a 95% retention rate with lots of satisfied long-term clients who trust us to grow their cleaning business. And I think that if you work with us for the next 90 days, you'll see exactly why so many cleaners trust us. The growth plan could be a good fit for you if you're already operating a real cleaning business, if you can fulfill additional work, and if you're willing to invest in the marketing and systems that are required to grow. It may not be a fit for you if you're brand new with no operating experience, if you don't have any advertising budget, if you can't answer or follow up with leads quickly, and if you need guaranteed revenue immediately. We really want to work with good clients, but we also want clients who have a realistic chance of using the system successfully and actually making some money with it. So if what I've shown you today makes sense, go to bookcleaningjobs.com and apply to the program. You can get started right on our website. If your cleaning company is a good fit, we'll take you to a screen where you can pay for your first month, and then you can schedule your onboarding call with my team. But if you still have questions after watching this, I'd recommend you schedule a quick call with my team. It's not a high-pressure sales call. We're just going to look at your current business, your market, your lead flow, your booking rate, your average ticket, your capacity, and your goals. And if we think that the growth plan is a good fit, we'll explain exactly what the investment looks like, how the launch process works, and what we would implement first for you. If we don't think we're a good fit, we'll tell you that too. Now, at this point, a lot of people tell me I've tried Google Ads before and I actually lost money with it. That happens, right? That can happen. The problem might have been something with your campaign setup, targeting, search terms, landing page, your tracking, your follow-up, your pricing, or it could just be the underlying economics of your business. The answer is not to blindly spend more. It's to figure out where your system's broken. My team uses high-intent targeting, negative keywords, conversion-focused pages, CRM tracking, and we also review lead quality, bookings, average ticket, and ROI pretty frequently. You shouldn't be trying to scale an unprofitable campaign blindly. You really have to take a look at the numbers, figure out what's broken, and then you can scale it up. That's usually what goes wrong when most people are running Google Ads. Another thing that people ask me is, does the $9.97 a month include the ad spend? No, it doesn't. The $9.97 a month is our management fee. Your ad spend is going to be paid directly to Google. I'd recommend that you spend at least $1,500 a month so we can drive some serious leads for you and do some testing. But we separate those costs because I think that transparency matters, and you should know exactly how much you're spending on advertising and how much is being paid for management. So you'll pay that ad spend directly to Google and you'll pay us separately for our management. I've also had cleaners ask me before, is this too early for my business? I'm just starting out. Is the growth plan a good fit for me? And this really depends on your situation. If you're a brand new operator with no budget, no capacity, and you don't have a lot of experience fulfilling the work, I wouldn't want you to rush into this because it's a big investment. But if you're an experienced entrepreneur getting into the carpet cleaning space for the first time, but you've run other businesses before, or maybe you already have a functioning business and you just need a better growth system, then it might make sense for us to talk, right? So you might want to book a call with our team and talk to us about your specific situation before you decide to move forward. If you're tired of being the only person that can make your cleaning business work, you need to start building the systems that create leverage. You need a predictable way to generate demand. You need a way to turn demand into profitable jobs. And you need a plan for building a team so that your cleaning business isn't limited by your body. That's how you stop competing only on price. That's how you create enough margin to hire. And that's how you hand off the wand and become the CEO. If you're ready to look honestly at your business and see if the growth plan's a good fit, go to bookcleaningjobs.com and apply to work with us. Or if you prefer, you can request a call with my team first. We'll look at your situation, your numbers, your market, your goals, If we can help, we'll tell you how. If we can't, we'll tell you that too. Thanks for spending this time with me. I hope this gave you a clearer picture of what has to change for you to grow beyond the van and a practical path for what's due next. And I look forward to working with you soon.